You guys remember at the end of the last video when I said I wasn't hungry for more raid boss kills? I lied. I'm not trying to speedrun or anything, I'm making this video more so to show that you can kill some raid bosses with just a little practice. As such, I'm only showing 3 of the easier ones. Easier doesn't necessarily mean easy, none of these will be easy at first, but like I said, a little practice is all it takes. Take Pete for instance. I'm not super experienced with these fights, and Pete does require you to understand his moves a little before you can get kills on him consistently. He's also pretty gear dependent since both fire and corrosive damage, which is what most of your guns probably are completely useless for damaging him. You'll also probably want either the Trespasser or Amigo Sincero to knock his faceplate off so you can get crits early. And the B is optional. Think of it like the red Tearstone ring from Dark Souls. Great damage, but if you misuse it, it'll get you killed more often than it'll help you. Because of that, I get kills on Pete way more consistently without the B, even if it's a little slower. I don't feel as though I'm experienced enough to be offering much in terms of advice. The most I can say is to keep track of how many times he's thrown balls at you. He does 2 ball throws, then he'll want a Nova. And you can avoid Novas by hiding behind something, so try as best as you can to stick around the outside edges of the map. If he's in the middle, there's way less places you can hide from a Nova. Also watch your ammo. If you're learning this fight, you'll probably need to get more mid-fight, and you don't want to be doing that when he's close to a Nova. So watch your ammo, see when it's low, and get more ammo early. Something I have a hard time doing is backpedaling away from him while shooting him in the head. I feel like my spacing is always off, so I'm not getting the sweet spot damage from my Lyuda, and he catches up to me very quickly. So what I do is lead him to one spot, then use Deception to go across the arena to hit him while he runs at me, which worked well. Learning the Lyuda sweet spot is something you just need to practice. Not that it's necessary, but it's like way more damage if you can sweet spot consistently, so if you want to farm Pete legit, it'll speed things up a lot. So yeah, those are some things I learned from like a few hours of Pete experience and stuff I knew from watching Pete kills, which is my biggest tip by the way. Watch Pete kills and understand what to do before starting the fight. It'll cut out a lot of the frustration of learning how a boss operates into not knowing how it'll behave. Study for the test, you'll do better. This fight was around 3 minutes 18 seconds, which is roughly the same time we got on OP0 with a Hyperion Allegiance build. Which you watched, correct? You watched that, right? You did watch my Hyperion video, yes? Great! Here's my gear and stuff, all of it legitimately obtained, more or less. This is my build, probably suboptimal. I didn't even mention, but I did all of that without using a Moxie weapon once. But this next guy didn't let me do that. Up next is Son of Crawmerax, which I didn't even know was a secret raid boss for a long time. The way I'll be fighting Craw is a lot less Zero specific since this fight uses a shock conference call rather than a shock sniper, so I don't have to worry about losing CA. I started the fight off poorly by trying out the shock pimp on him, but as it turns out the CC is a lot more damage. Crazy! And the most annoying part of this fight, besides the mobs that spawn later, is how fast Craw sheds slag. Not that it matters too much since he's honestly a lot squishier than I expected. Phase 1 went down relatively easy, and that's the scariest phase since I can't get a second wind if I get downed. As for all these mobs that do spawn, what I did was ran around and popped any Varkid pods that spawned as to not have any issues with too many ranged attacks. This is also one of those fights where the B is doing quite a lot of heavy lifting due to the conference calls on listed projectiles. It's probably possible to kill him without a B, but I haven't done it yet. Another important note, when Craw goes underground, he stays there for around about exactly 30 seconds, so you can keep time in your head and be prepared for when he pops up. Like I said earlier, I did use a Moxie weapon for this, but I didn't use a Grog Nuzzle. For some reason there's a misconception that the Grog is necessary for anything past the VHM, so I will literally never use it out of spite. Also, Craw has an attack where he burrows underground, and burrows as an invincibility phase. The difference is if you can damage him while he's burrowing, that's the attack, and he'll be back up very shortly. There were a lot of suboptimal plays like me forgetting to have my CC reloaded before swapping to it, and getting my B broken a lot, but keep in mind this was literally my second ever kill on Craw. I did have a few failed attempts as a warm-up before this fight, but I'm still very inexperienced. There's only a couple things to know about Craw. He burrows for 30 seconds when he goes invincible mode, shock is nice with some nuances and caveats I won't get into, and don't let too many Varkids pod up. Keep everything else alive for second wins. I heard if you kill too many of the little crabs and stuff, dudes with guns start spawning and you don't want that, so it's important to not kill too many creatures and only kill Varkid pods or to get second wins. That's all I know, and please oh please let me know if I suck ass at these fights because I'd love to get better. This kill took 5 minutes 10 seconds, which is pretty long, but I don't think that's too bad. Hopefully showing that someone without much experience like me can do these fights will give someone else the motivation to do it themselves. It's definitely difficult, but with the raids I showed, it's not too bad once you know what you're getting yourself into. Okay, bye-bye. I'm gonna go do a doll plasma caster review now.